Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sharon, I'm an artist from BC, Canada. Today I'll be doing a old portfolio review. I usually start my old artwork in the Art Portfolio Evolution, which is by Toya. It's archival safe. So let's begin. Actually, I haven't looked at this portfolio in a while, so I'm not sure what exactly to expect, but I know that this piece, for example, is from 2019. I love the depth of the water when I painted it with gouache and adding in oil pencils at the end. I think it came out quite beautifully, and I like how whimsical it is, and the light shining through is just all really cute and adorable. And the cat who's fishing at the bottom of the sea where the fishes live, I think it's a nice spin. Next piece I have here is these bubble peas that I did back in 2016, it says. I mixed acrylics with soap, and then I blew bubbles on the paper, and then I drew oil pencil characters on top, and it was so much fun. I taught it at a community center for kids, and these are samples of ideas I suggested that they can try out. Of course not this one, but maybe Little Mermaids. This one is done with gouache and archival ink, and I love animals, so you're going to see a lot of animals coming up in my portfolio probably. Now these two are done all in gouache with some archival ink. This one is of a bear playing piano. I wonder if you can hear his music when he's deep in the forest by himself and just immersed in his own music. I love the idea of the light shining through, the translucency of the leaf and how it glows on the top and slowly settle to the bottom of the forest floor where the colors are a little bit more dense. And overall, I love how the dark colors are just different shades of cobalt blue, magenta, and greens. This one is inspired by Howl's Moving Castle. I love how there's darkness of the sky with the stars shining through, and then the sun just setting in the back. You can see the three characters with the little doggies from Howl's Moving Castle, but it's about how you always look for the star in the darkest of days. Now this next piece is inspired by a selection of fairies I was working on. I think it was 2019. If you look closer, you can actually see some glimmer of gold archival ink that I put on top. But what I really like about this piece is just the translucent colors and florals are in the background. It's very subtle. This piece is when I first started with gouache. You can see I was playing with colors and I drew archival ink on the end here, and it's talking about dreaming in colors and dreaming of florals, and even when you're zoning out, there's beauty that you will notice everywhere. This piece is inspired by how when you're on a SkyTrain and you watch your everyone's on their phone, or you're taking pictures at a beautiful scenic area, and a lot of people are just really focused on their lens, and it's just a reminder to kind of step back and look at the beauty that's standing right in front of you and actualize it, realize it, and experience it. This piece is inspired by Spirited Away. You can see that they're trying to illustrate the four seasons in the tree and the little characters, including Kaku in the water, which is harder to notice, but he's there. This one I was experimenting with gouache, and you can see it's a alpaca with a really fancy hat going to a tea party. I was trying out matte and illustrations, and don't think it's exactly for me. I like dimensions to my colors and some translucency, so these hard-hitting colors was just not me, but it looked really good when it comes out on print. Now this one's inspired by Studio Ghibli's Totoro, and I really love these colors, how they blend and how it stains. And this one, along with the next two coming up, should be. This one is called Sleep Appreciation Club, and this one is called I Have No Idea What I'm Doing, and this last one is You're Stronger Than You Think. And again, I really love these dark colors that is a combination of different types of cobalt and magentas that blend together, just like this rock. It's not a solid black color, but a blend of different colors. And I did these pins for the community center when I had craft fairs back in the day, and kids would come by my booth and ask to purchase something. And at the end, I decided to make some art pins of these so they can pick it up with their dollars and $2, and they can pick something and practice buying crafts. This piece is called Wonder. I love the colors and the underwater theme for Ponyo. So I did this with gouache, with Ponyo descending and looking at the beautiful corals and added details with archival ink. It's a really beautiful piece, and I didn't think people would really like it in the beginning, so I never showed it to anyone. This next piece is from 2016. It's just me learning to use gouache and doing something cute with a cat walking their goldfish. This one I think is 2017, the year afterwards. Same idea, cat and goldfish and eating their goldfish. And I really had fun with this piece as well. Again, I didn't think people would like it, so I never really showcased it. This one was done in 2019 on tone paper. Kind of like we're all walking each other home, never alone. And then the moon's glowing on the top. I had a whole kimono series of animals in, not just kimonos, I guess, but in traditional clothing. So I did one of cats and pandas, and that's really where I started with gouache. I love painting girls and flowers, so you can see a general theme here as well. It's a lot of fun layering on the colors one by one, and the translucency and seeing the colors in the back really is something I love and enjoy. This one I did for Opus for their daily practice video to show how I do the pandas, and this one was another one I started earlier, and I think it was 2016 or 2017. The idea is that one day I stepped out of work after a long day, and I was just so happy to be alive, and everything in the world was just so blindingly beautiful, and I wanted to convey that sometimes just standing there in the moment and just loving what is there and exists. Now this piece I did in 2019. You can see there's a little bit of gold foil archival ink on top. The little boy and a polar bear swinging and looking at the sun. Could be sunrise or sunset. I haven't decided yet. Maybe sunset. This piece I just completed in 2021, and it's about embracing yourself. And at first I was thinking of doing a shadow embracing yourself, and I was thinking black on tone paper, but at the end I wanted something lighter and like more hopeful, so I decided to use white to kind of like your internal light and embracing yourself. You can see it's kind of dissipating, and I really like that effect. These two pieces I completed, this one in 2021. It's the autumn scene of Ponyo. It was a whole series I completed back in May in 2021, and I sold all of the originals except for this one and one more that you might see later on. You can see that Ponyo and Friend is checking out some jellyfish in the bottom of the pond, and there's little petals on the floor of the lake, and just love the translucency and colors of it. Now this one I've made into a poster. You can see there's empty space here because one of the pieces, Haku, was sold, but decided to make a whole Japanese food series with Studio Ghibli. I had so much fun with it. It's now available in the full poster. This is the second Ponyo piece that I brought up that was not sold in May, but it's also a really adorable piece. And then these ones, it's from, did I write when these are? I did not, but I believe they were in 2017 or 18. Again, trying out different types of paper. This is a little bit more grainy, whereas this one's more smooth. It's actually miso soup. Their Totoro and Friend is hanging out, enjoying hot spring or rice bowls on miso soup and covering their privates with a little cloth. They actually look like a little rice ball there. I don't know if you notice. And then this one is inspired by a flower potted plant that I saw when I was in Japan, and I thought it was beautiful, but since I'm not very good with growing plants and everything seems to die, I decided to draw one instead. And I think it came out quite nice. These two pieces I completed in 2021 this year, and it's just a rabbit sailing on a paper boat towards the moon, and then this one is a little girl walking footsteps towards the moon. Love the shades of color. These are kind of like my colors that I love, and how milky and smooth they are. But this one I completed, I believe 2019. Is just kind of like, feels like the words are sucked right out of you, and that was the theme of the piece. These two are completed in 2019, are just trying to add more watercolor and trying out different style. You can see I add a little bit of archival ink on both pieces, including the feathers and such. And then these pieces this is from 2016. It's an animal kimono piece along with two Totoro pieces that are growing mushrooms. This one I made into a print. And then this one I completed in 2021, sleeping with a tiger. How sometimes you do dangerous things, but you love it so much, you still do it anyways. And then a little piece of Princess Mononoke. And then this is the original Ponyo piece with acrylic and water, and I blew bubbles and fill in Ponyo at the end. I really like this one. I think I have one more print left of that one. And then Panda having pudding, so full that he just fell asleep on top of the pudding. And then another style of Kiki, and one more Ponyo piece of acrylic. And you can not tell from this, but it's actually very textured because of the way the bubbles burst on the paper. The acrylics created a bit of texture for the bubble. Same thing for these ones. This one I made into a print too. I really love how the bubbles turned out. And you can see some of how the bubbles burst on the paper. And that's the last piece, with also acrylic and bubble soap. And then there's the panda holding the umbrella for the little panda. So that's it for my portfolio review. It's a combination of artwork from 2016, 2017, all the way to 2021 in no particular order. If you like more of these art portfolio review, please consider subscribing and sharing my artwork, or adding comments on the bottom, and I would love to see you in my next video. Thank you for checking out my old artwork with me. Take care.